owe us nothing, not even our costs. I'm Spencer Callahan. I'd like to help.
Spencer Callahan is the one to see. Call 387-2323.
LA 21-12670. Offices in Baton Rouge.
WNXX, Jackson, KNXX, Donaldsonville, and WDGL HD2 Baton Rouge. This hour brought to you by Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers. LA 21-12681. Offices in Baton Rouge. Anytime. Anytime. A daily look at sports from our resident historian. Your sports break during your lunch break. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios. Here's Charles Hannegriff.
And a pleasant good afternoon. Welcome to Anytime 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Charles Hannegriff, Mario Jerez, Taylor Sharp with you. Man, we got a lot of stuff going on right now. Scott Rabalais in about 15 minutes. We'll talk a little bit about Brian Kelly in the press conference from this morning. But Rab is at Basketball Media Days, so we'll get a little stuff from him. LSU men's basketball coach Matt McMahon spoke today. This morning, not terribly long ago, so we'll get some stuff from Rab on that. Baseball playoffs are going. Aaron Nola's going to this afternoon. First time ever in the National League Championship Series. Nola's been smoking, man. In the playoffs so far, 12 2/3 innings pitched, 6 2/3 against St. Louis, no runs. 6 innings against Atlanta, no runs, no earned runs. Last game of the regular season against Houston, 6 2/3, no runs, no earned runs. So his last 3 outings, Astros, Cardinals, and Braves, 2 teams that used to be in the playoffs and one that still is. My man's allowed 0 earned runs in 19 1/3 innings. And he pitched one time against the Padres this year. 7 innings, 1 earned run. That was back in June. They're a different team now. Blake Snell's pretty good, too. He's got a 3.12 ERA in the playoffs with the Phillies this afternoon. You know what? That's going to be a pretty good ball game. Phillies and the Padres. So we're watching a little Aaron Nola today. Yeah, he has not really gotten hit hard in a game since June. So looking forward to that. Yankees and the Astros tonight. I guess the Yankees made it there. They finished up pretty late last night. Verlander going for the Stros today. He couldn't have looked worse last week. Don't figure he's going to do that again. You want some college football tonight? Got App State, Georgia State. Remember App State beat Texas A&M, scared the hell out of North Carolina. Last week they lost to Texas State by 12. Texas State never trailed in the game. They were 2-3. They just beat App State. Georgia State started out 0-4, but they won their last 2, beat Army. Georgia Southern, who just beat James Madison, who's supposed to be good from what I'm told. You listen to T-Bob and the guys in the morning. The Mayo guy likes James Madison. They were pretty good. They lost last week, though. Anyway. So you want college football? You get college football tonight. Fun Belt teams going in opposite directions. Last few weeks, the team going in the upward directions, getting almost double-digit points. I don't know. Might want to watch that. The Pels tonight. Okay. Now this is interesting. Mario's got his he's got the Mardi Gras jersey on. His Nola Mardi Gras jersey. The Pels. Hey. I'm gonna just get this out of the way right now, okay? And if Jeremy Hill's listening, he's just gonna have to be mad.
I hope he is.
The Pels right now are the co-favorites for the top pick in the NBA draft next year. That's courtesy of the Lakers' loss last night. Jeremy, he's gonna be sick of me by April. But to the losers go the victor. Unless you're Los Angeles, then the victor goes to the Pelicans. We're talking about the big Frenchman. I'm sorry, little. Unique situation here because the Saints, no matter how much they lose, are not going to get a good pick in next year's NFL draft. The Pelicans, no matter how much they win, have still got a great shot to get a great pick. You know what? I don't even need a pick anymore. I got a team. That's the cool thing about this. That's why I say I don't want to update this every week on the pursuit of victor because they got enough right now to win. All it needs a little bit of experience, a little bit of good luck with the health, man. They got everything. It's what the podcast is about today. As soon as I post the podcast, but that is going to be about. It's going to be about the Pelicans. I mean, and the great thing about this is the Pelicans have got a complete roster in place, got a coach, got everybody signed. General manager's good. Nobody's unhappy. Building sold out. I mean, not tonight. They're in Brooklyn, but the home opener against Utah on Sunday, that's sold out. Then you get to watch the Lakers implode. This is so cool. Anthony Davis to the injured list in 3, 2, 1. They already messed up Russell Westbrook. You got to try harder to get Russell Westbrook out of the lineup because that guy, look, whether you like him or not, he plays every night. LeBron James played 56 games last year. He had to take a little vacation in November, had to go fishing early. Anthony Davis played 40 games last year because that's usually about what he's reliable for, about half. Westbrook played 78 games. At least he shows up. At least he plays hard. I mean, he may not always, have great shot selection, but, the guy shows up, puts the uniform on, goes out there every night. Speaking of goes out there every night, how rare is this? Last 2 years, Kevin Durant has played 58% of available games. Kyrie Irving has played 54% of available games. Ben Simmons has played 38% of available games. They're all playing tonight. Thank you for showing up. We appreciate it. Thank you for coming to work this morning. What? All right, Zion's only played 40% of the games, but he's healthy now. Why you want to rain on my segment, man? I'm in a good mood. Pels tonight. Phillies tonight. Astros tonight. Phillies actually this afternoon. College football tonight. Saints tomorrow night. I mean, LSU Ole Miss on Saturday. I mean, if you can't be fired up about being a sports fan right now, this is. I talked about the great card last Saturday, but man, can you pick a topic that you like? We got plenty to go to. All right, so Scott Rabalais at SEC Basketball Media Days. We'll have him in about 10 minutes. Bottom of the hour, first class, second class, and no class. Got a few thoughts on that, but let's get to Brian Kelly. Let's get the hard news out of the way first. Let's start with injury updates, and let's start with Jack Besh.
Jack was out there yesterday, excuse me, but he is day-to-day. Obviously, we're going to continue to use him and Greg Clayton back there.
Just make you fair catch and catch the ball. I'm tired of fighting with this. Okay? Armani Goodwin, the news is pretty good.
Armani practiced yesterday, held the volume pretty good. We'll see how he feels today. I think that will be the big test, Wilson, in terms of, what I haven't checked in with Bo yet, our trainer. But, had a pretty good amount yesterday and really felt pretty good after I talked to him after practice. So we're hopeful that that'll continue to trend where he can get some playing time this weekend.
Hey, look, the running game is starting to improve. It's making incremental steps. The running game outside of the quarterback, I ain't turning down no help at this point. Major Burns, don't need to play the clip, but because he's not coming back this week, but he is in non-contact drills. Kelly updated that, and the thought is that he will be back for Alabama. So all of that, pretty good news from Brian Kelly. So let's get to what he thinks about Ole Miss. And this is a different looking Ole Miss team. This is not what you normally expect from Lane Kiffin. So that starts on the defensive end this time.
Well, they operate out of 3 down, but, they're playing with 6 defensive backs, and one of the defensive backs is 225 pounds, and, they're boundary dime, and the Reese kid is really an unusual player. He can play back on the hash. He can come down and play, at the linebacker position. It gives them great versatility where, they can move the people around and give you a multitude of different looks. So I think it's the versatility of their personnel that makes it probably a unique defensive structure more than anything else.
So when I hear that, the first thing I want to know is how do they defend the run? And the results are pretty good, not great, not terrible. Ole Miss giving up 144 yards a game on the ground. For context, LSU's given up 145 yards a game on the ground. So if you want to know what the Ole Miss rush defenses look like from a competitive standpoint this year, it's looked pretty much like the LSU defense. Stylistically, they're different, but from a result standpoint, they are very much the same. Offensively, you're not going to recognize this group if you're expecting Lane Kiffin from the past. And Kelly even said they've changed a whole lot from week 1 to now.
Well, I think it's settling in on, their structure offensively in terms of what they want to do and the good sequential, play calling and setting things up. I think they're comfortable in terms of what they're doing offensively. I think it's like any other team, really. They had a lot of new players and everybody's kind of being, asked to do something, and they're much more accustomed to what their roles are. And then defensively, I think, they obviously are doing a pretty good job of playing good football. So I think it's more than anything else. It's similar to us in the sense that we had a lot of new players transfer in on defense and just being more accustomed to the new roles that they're playing.
So they're still piling up plenty yards, and they're still running a lot of plays. I'll get to that in a second. They just don't throw it as much as you'd expect from a Lane Kiffin team. Over 500 yards of total offense a game. They are the number 1 rushing team in the Southeastern Conference, but the number 9 passing team. Most people think Lane, and myself included, you think Lane Kiffin, you think of the quarterbacks that he has tutored and the offenses that have a lot of creativity to them. This offense has a lot of creativity to it. It's just in the run game. So the other thing you think about with Ole Miss is how fast do they go? And, okay, this is ordinarily you think, well, run game, this is control the clock. This is, dominate time of possession. This is not tempo. That's actually not true. They're running plenty plays. They are second in the league in number of plays run. They've run more plays than Georgia, okay? Just to give you an idea. When you think about the only team that's run more plays than them in the league is Arkansas, who I also don't think of as a tempo team, but is a big rush team. We think of tempo. I think of Mississippi State. They go fast, right? The Pirate, the Air Raid, all that stuff. Ole Miss has run 28 more plays in the same amount of games as Mississippi State has. So you're talking about almost a half's worth of football, more offensive plays for what Ole Miss has run than what State has. So just to give you an idea of what they're doing, no, their schedule has not been the toughest. Everything on the Ole Miss schedule is backloaded. Their non-conference schedule was not very difficult. Their Power 5 team was Georgia Tech, who's already fired their coach. They have played Vandy. They have played Auburn, who was a little bit down. So it's not the best conference schedule yet. The best win that they have is against Kentucky. That was a 3-point win. It was in Oxford. Kentucky hit the ball 3 times in the fourth quarter inside the 35-yard line and couldn't win the game. I'm just saying, okay, this is a very good Ole Miss team. Are they quite as good as their ranking? I would suggest, as would Vegas, maybe not. For LSU, the challenge this week is to build on success. Sometimes it's a difficult thing.
Consistency in performance. We want to be able to put good performances back to back. We haven't been able to do that yet. It's been, kind of grinding out a game. We haven't put together a full 4 quarters of football yet. And we'll have to do that against an outstanding football team in Ole Miss.
Strange as it may seem, handling success is sometimes harder than handling failure. Failure builds resolve, in anybody that's any good anyway. It builds resolve. It builds determination thing. Hey, we're not going to stay down. You win a game, it's a lot easier to stay happy. Hey, we're doing good. That's why the best coaches will usually do the opposite of what the general public will do. If a team is going poorly and everybody is jumping on them, family, friends, fans, media, whatever, the coach will play the role of counselor. Hey, you guys are not as bad as everybody's telling you. On the other hand, when you win and people are starting to feel good about it and everybody's telling you how great you are, usually the coach will say, hey, you know what, you're not as good as you think you are. It's a balance. Kelly's been through this before. We will take a break. When we come back, Scott Rabalais from SEC Media Days. This is Basketball Media Days. We're going to talk some football with Rab as well. That is next. This is Hanny Time, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
This is Hanny Time.
Big Mike's in Denham Springs. Just part of the fabric of Denham Springs. They got some cool events coming up. Tomorrow night with the Saints game, they got karaoke going on as well. Friday night, live music from Beside Ourselves. And Saturday for the LSU game. DJ Clarence will be playing all throughout the afternoon. Sunday for the NFL. No Saints this week, but happy hour drink prices all the way through. And their Halloween lineup coming up on October the 29th, the costume contest and Clarence the Entertainer for the big Halloween party at Big Mike's. Earlier in the week, you want to bring the kids out. That's on Tuesday, October the 25th. They're doing Trunk or Treat. That's candy, prizes, music, a good time for the whole family. Do it out in the parking lot. Basically, you combine tailgating with trick-or-treating. It's all part of the deal at Big Mike's. Don't forget they're open late after high school football. Bring the family in for something to eat after high school football games on Friday night. On Aspen and Denham Springs, Big Mike's, we're kind of a big deal.
Our listeners fire up their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
ITI's got all these programs. Once I started and learned everything about the school, it was worth it.
The challenges that ITI presented me with, it allowed me to build myself up.
All because of ITI, I actually was able to get a job within 3 months before graduation in my field.
Get the hands-on training you need for the job you've always wanted. With so many companies hiring right now, it's the perfect time to come to ITI Technical College. Enroll today for a better life.
This summer, meet Acura's heroes of performance. Only available at the Acura Summer of Performance.
This summer, visit your local Acura dealer for attractive offers on the NBA.
NFL is back. Our coverage starts Sunday at 10 a.m. with Magnolia Bluffs Football Sunday with Jimmy Ott, immediately followed by the Tennessee Titans and the Indianapolis Colts at noon, right here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
This is Hanny Time with Charles Hannegriff on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Welcome back. Hanny Time, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Scott Rabalais at SEC Basketball Media Days. Be here before you know it. Rab, good afternoon. How are you?
Greetings, Charles, from Birmingham. It's good to be with you.
Before we get to the football stuff, I got to ask you, Matt McMahon I almost feel like he's been working in anonymity for the last 6 months. I know he's been working hard because we see the results of the roster compilation and all that stuff, but it's been a pretty low profile thing. Look, there's been a lot of stuff going on campus, a new football coach. I get all of that. When he was hired, they were right in the middle of the baseball season, but now it's we're going to start to hear a little bit more from him more frequently. So what did he have to say this morning?
Well, he's a pretty straight-laced guy. There's not going to be a whole lot of, hey, let me tell you this story, or I remember when this happened. Because we've got Kim Mulkey for that, so he's like the opposite end of the spectrum. But he was talking to us about getting this team together. They picked the preseason poll came out. LSU's picked 8th, which I think shows some respect considering how many newcomers they have. He said they'll be a work in progress, but he likes the steps they're taking towards becoming a cohesive team. Obviously, only a couple of returning players like Adam Miller and Williams. There's only a lot of transfers. A player like K.J. Williams he brought in came with him from Murray State. They're trying to build the chemistry. They're trying to figure out who they can count on to play. He had good things to say about Adam Miller, who seemed very confident and very upbeat today talking to us. He said he's only been cleared for 9 weeks, but he looks great. He's making big progress every day. So obviously they missed the scoring last year, and they're really going to be counting on him this year. So just steady confidence. You're talking about trying to build the right habits. A little bit like Brian Kelly. Build the right habits and the right concepts. To instill to make for a winning program down the road. And he just he doesn't wow you. He doesn't tickle your funny bone or anything like that. But he just kind of inspires a quiet confidence, like this guy knows what he's doing and he's got a plan, and eventually they're going to get there someplace pretty good.
It's going to be exactly like Brian Kelly. Well, not exactly like Brian Kelly, football and basketball, not exactly the same thing. But as far as having to work in a lot of people who don't know each other or didn't know each other when they got to campus, didn't know each other when they got on the practice field. And a lot like Brian Kelly, everybody's new. I think the trainer is the same and everybody else is new. It's a whole new staff. It's a complete 100% turnover. That chemistry doesn't come overnight. So, right about the middle of the league. Listen, when he took the job, they had 0 scholarship players on campus that had committed to come back. At that point, I thought 3 or 4 wins in the SEC would be a miraculous thing. Now to be picked in the middle of the league, hey, let's see what they got. I did notice something else, Scott. I don't know what kind of buzz has been around there for Arkansas before we get to the football stuff, but I was noticing when we were going through the NBA draft stuff this morning, so I can make fun of the Laker fans right now about potential mock drafts. Arkansas's got 3 freshmen, all picked to go in the top 20 picks of next year's NBA draft. Though at least the one mock I was looking at. What's the buzz around the Hogs? Musselman been doing some work.
Yeah, I mean, they've made 2 deep runs the last 2 years into the NCAA tournament. Almost getting to the Final Four, and I think they picked 2nd right behind Kentucky, ahead of Tennessee, who is a very talented team, ahead of Auburn. I mean, there's a lot of respect for Arkansas. I see Nick Smith, guard, is on the preseason All-SEC team. I mean, they're just a program that seems like they're on a roll, and they're way up there. Of course, Kentucky almost like a default pick to win the conference. I would have thought it might be somebody like Arkansas or Tennessee, but they're right there, and you have to respect the job Musselman has done, and they're one of those programs that is going to be difficult for LSU to try to climb up to be with or get past, going down the road, because they seem to. It seems to maybe it's not quite like the '90s and the 40 minutes of hell under Nolan Richardson, but it's getting back to a level of respectability and consistency that we've not seen out of Arkansas in a long time.
All I was thinking was about the 89-90 LSU basketball team when you Shaquille and Stanley and Chris Jackson at the time, and everybody had them really, really high up the thing. And, that season didn't necessarily work out. You think 3 freshmen in the top 20 in the NBA draft? Okay. I know nobody's head's into basketball quite yet, and mine isn't either. So let me move on to football. The performance by Jaden Daniels, and Brian Kelly talked a little bit about this morning, and more of that comfort level, and it may be just a boring soundbite, but it's true. The guy looks so much more comfortable out there on Saturday than he had really in any game so far this year.
Well, he really did, and throwing deep, throwing into some very tight windows. I mean, you have to have confidence to make some of the throws or attempt some of the throws he did. And they got the vertical passing game going a little more. Kelly I'm interested in what you think. Kelly praised the job Mike Grinbach did call in the game, but we all saw that he had the play sheet and he was asked about it on Monday. And it seemed like he was a little more into the offensive game plan, and he explained what you hear. You don't want to have too many voices going on. I've called plays, but certainly seemed like there was a little more influence by Brian Kelly. I'm curious to see what your take is on it. But he had to deliver, and he did, and was just tremendous. And of course, 3 touchdowns passing, 3 touchdowns rushing, and some very nifty runs. But that wasn't the main focus of what he did. It was getting the ball off, getting it in tight spaces, finding receivers, finding guys deep downfield, going up, letting guys make a play. And we've heard Kelly say that the last couple of weeks. Let a guy make a play. Lead a receiver into the play. Don't wait for him to break open. And I think we finally saw some of that. Now, Florida's defense is not very good. I mean, LSU obviously had a tremendous day on third down, and they weren't converting just like they were 8 of 12 on third down. They weren't just like converting the 3rd and 1s with a run or 3rd and 2. It was 3rd and 8 and they're throwing for 10, and 3rd and 12 they're throwing for 15, that kind of thing. But you got to make the plays, and they were very good at that. And the score, I don't care who you're playing, the score touchdowns on your first 6 possessions, especially on the road in the SEC, is impressive. So it's got to give you hope for the Ole Miss game. I picked LSU to win straight up. I think if they can play anything close to what they played, and Ole Miss has got a better defense, but than Florida, but if they were close to what they played and hold down Ole Miss just a little bit, I think they have a very good chance to win. Was probably going to be a shootout.
Well, to that end, Ole Miss is still running plenty plays. They're still scoring plenty points. They're still piling up lots of yards. They're just doing it differently. This is primarily a run-based team, and it's not necessarily what we're used to seeing out of Lane Kiffin. But your thoughts on what he's done with this year's Ole Miss team?
He say what you want about Lane, and I don't think he would have been a good choice for LSU on balance. But he's a very good offensive mind, and he will take what you give you what the defense gives you, and he is good at molding his offense to the talents he has. And like you said, this is a team that is very good at running the ball, so he's going to do more running, and he's happy to run it. And obviously, they ran it right down Auburn's throat Saturday, over 400 yards rushing, and so that's what's working for them. And obviously, that seems like what I would do against LSU, which is giving up over 200 yards rushing the past 2 weeks, albeit a lot of it at Florida on the one long touchdown run by Anthony Richardson. But he's very good at you take away this, I'm going to do that. You take away that, I'm going to do this. And you have to admire it, and you have to admire his play calling ability. And it's a huge challenge for LSU. A challenge in a different way from Tennessee, which ran the ball and ran it well, but seems like more committed to throwing it. Of course, throwing it even. I can't imagine anyone can run plays faster than Tennessee does. But Ole Miss is they've got it going on, and it's now a mature. Is this year 3 for Lane or 4? It's a mature offensive system now, and a plan that they have, and you can see it reflected in what they do. That said, they have not beaten anybody very good except for Kentucky, and Kentucky basically blew that game. with the turnovers in the red zone, and Kentucky should have beaten them. But I'm not surprised overall that Ole Miss has the record they do. But their schedule is going to get a lot tougher to finish the season, starting with the LSU game.
All right, Scott, appreciate your time. Have a safe trip back from Birmingham, and we'll talk to you next week.
Always a pleasure. Thanks, Charles. First class,
second class, no class when we return. Get some submissions in the chat if you'd like. This is Hanny Time, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
This is Hanny Time.
Acura and Infinity of Baton Rouge. You know, over the last several years, Acura has undergone so many changes to their line. The 23 model year Integra is back, completely redesigned, some new color combinations, new body styles, starting with the 2022 MDX, the 2021 TLX, and the TLX S-Type. The RDX refreshed in 2022, and again, the 2023 Integra with the newest, latest, and greatest technology and styling. Family owned and operated, you can enjoy your experience at Acura and Infinity of Baton Rouge. That's why I continue to go back time and time again when it's time for me to purchase a vehicle. Transparency in pricing. They're going to treat you like family. So go now. Acura and Infinity of Baton Rouge.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Want more customers? Running Boards Marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Boards Marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers. Visit us online at runningboardsmarketing.com so we can drive your message to where the people are.
Shop, shop. Order curbside pickup online or with Rouse's Market Shopping app and let Rouse's personal shopper shop for you. Curbside pickup is free and you pay the same price for groceries as in-store. Use code SAINTS20 and save $20 on orders of $100 or more. That's curbside convenience. Shop a style.
Oh, yeah!
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Wednesday's Hump Day AFR presented by Pluckers. We're turning the page to Saints Cardinals. Mike Triplett will join us. We're headed to Arizona to take a look at the Cardinals. Join us 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
This is Hanny Time with Charles Hannegriff on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Hanny Time. First class.
I want a seat in first class where I was booked and ticketed over a month ago.
Second class.
That no man should be subjected to the indignity of being labeled or treated like a second-class citizen.
And no class.
My life had become like school on Sunday. No class.
I'll tell you what then. Why don't you call me sometime when you have no class?
Seems like there's a camera or a microphone everywhere when you want to hear something or see something. Sometimes things people don't want you to hear or see. I really hope, actually, that some audio emerges somewhere from this. Because yesterday at the owners' meetings, never thought I'd be so in the Jerry Jones camp. But yesterday, Jerry Jones told Robert Kraft that Roger Goodell was making too much guaranteed money and don't F with me. Now, that would be some audio that would be worthy of hearing. Mario, can we take a look? It's somebody somewhere. Where's TMZ when you need him, okay?
For real.
Because seeing Jerry Jones wag his finger at Robert Kraft telling him, Roger Goodell is overpaid and don't F with me.
And hearing the exchange or reading in the article is funny because apparently Robert Kraft is like, excuse me? And then Jerry Jones corrects himself and says, don't mess with me.
Yeah, right. Okay. So you got these two multi-billionaires who are used to being, dominant in every room, certainly in every business meeting that they're ever in. And you got, I'd love to be a fly on the wall for one of these owners' meetings. Okay. You got 32 billionaires who are not used to ever being told no for anything that they want. I read a book the Chargers owner Gene Klein wrote back in the 80s about, and he went all the way back to the old AFL and how these supposedly dignified meetings turned into shouting matches that, sounded like your children fighting, except it was all, at that time, millionaires, now billionaires. I would love to get the audio of this. So I almost put Jerry Jones in first class. That was actually it's kind of an honorable mention first class. Anybody who says Roger Goodell makes too much money and shouldn't get as much of it guaranteed that he should actually have to listen to this, okay? This was Jones's take. I don't think we should give Roger Goodell his bonuses in advance. I think he should have to earn them. Duh. He got outvoted 31-1. The man stood up at the NFL meetings and said, I think the commissioner should have to do his job to earn his bonuses before we pay him. He got outvoted 31-1. I'll tell you how dysfunctional the NFL owners' meetings are. 31-1. Jerry Jones, the voice of reason. Don't F with me, Robert Kraft. Better quit saying that. I'm going to slip and get fined. Tennessee, Alabama could have been first class. Okay, that was first class. I mean, another honorable mention, first class. It was a great game. Obviously, the team won that I wanted to win. So everything was good. That was terrific. So here's first class is tomorrow. And there's going to be a few more days like this. But like I said at the top of the show, if you are a sports fan, this just gets into the heart of everything you could want. Doesn't matter what you like. There's something pretty much here for you. Tomorrow, the Yankees and the Astros are going to play baseball. The NHL's got 3 games. The NBA's got 2 games. And the NFL's got the Saints and Arizona. This happens a few times a year. I think we're going to get a few more this year because the baseball season was pushed back because of the lockout. But anytime you can have all 4 of the major professional sports going with games in the same day, plus college football as well, that's first class. These are the days that we live for. This is not, July the 14th where it's, hey, you know what? There's off-season workouts going on in football, and the Brewers are playing the Padres. No. This is the good stuff. So first class to what we as sports fans are going to get to enjoy. Second class is an easy one. It's the Pels today because, they're starting the season, and like I said, the whole podcast today is going to be about the Pelicans. So if you like basketball, check out the podcast. If you don't care about basketball in the middle of football season, I understand there'll be more later. But good with a chance to be great. I mean, they are set up to have a really, really fun and positive season. But there was something else I wanted to put out here, and I'm sticking this in second class. It's not good with a chance to be great. It's just something that I've heard over and over all week, and I just want to send out a little bit of a cautionary tale on this. After Alabama lost on Saturday, I've heard this from a ton of people, and they may very well be right. Go bet Alabama this week. They're going to be really mad. They're going to be super focused. They are going to crush somebody next week because Lil Nicky's mad. All right, maybe so. But they almost lost to Texas A&M last week, and that didn't seem to do them a whole lot of good up in Knoxville. Alabama's a 21-point favorite against Mississippi State, but they are only 4-3 against the spread this year, which means they've covered against Utah State, UL Monroe, Vanderbilt, and Arkansas. And the Arkansas game, they had a 28-0 lead that shrunk to 28-23 before they pulled away late in that game. Alabama's pass defense is 8th in the league. This is Nick Saban's baby. The secondary is where this man eats, okay? This is where he lives and dies. And they're behind South Carolina, Missouri, and Auburn. Also right there with LSU, if that means anything to you. Mississippi State's passing offense is second in the league. They're just behind Tennessee. Tennessee just had a fair amount of success with this. State, by the way, 4-2-1 against the spread. And this is the first time this season that they are an underdog. Now, look, Alabama stat, they've had to face some really good quarterbacks. I mean, they had to face Quinn Ewers. They had to face Hendon Hooker, so that's going to drive the numbers up. But this is also against Haynes King and KJ Jefferson. Haynes King was benched. Jefferson is, I think, a good quarterback, but I don't think he's a great passer. He's about in the middle of the Southeastern Conference as far as passer rate. A little bit higher than that. He's 6th. But the point is Alabama may be a little bit vulnerable. I don't know. They may go out there and beat Mississippi State by 6 touchdowns. They've got that much talent. They've got a great coach. I get all of that stuff. But if you're, man, look, Alabama's mad. The world better watch out. You sure? Utah State, UL Monroe, Vanderbilt, and Arkansas, that's who they've covered against. First half line, maybe a little bit safer, a little bit better than half of the 21, something like that. Proceed with caution because you listen to Nick Saban, and I'm not suggesting that this is, the end of the dynasty or any of that stuff. I mean, I'm not, not crazy, but maybe they're just not quite as good as everybody thought. It took everything Tennessee could do to beat them. This is kind of like the 2019 LSU team. LSU had Joe Burrow, had Jamar Chase, had Justin Jefferson, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. They had 21 guys get drafted off that team, and it was all they could do to beat those people. I mean, they won by 5 points in Tuscaloosa. Tennessee's got their best team in 15 years, maybe in 25 years. Maybe you go back to the national champions in 1998, okay? And it was all they could do. They may have the Heisman Trophy winner at quarterback like LSU did that year. And it was all they could do to beat them. So just proceed with caution where Alabama is concerned. My no class, I really am just continue to be buffaloed at some of the coaches in the NFL. These are guys that are obviously highly accomplished to be able to get one of 32 jobs in the NFL. But I have seen some outlandish decisions this year. I mean, things that defy explanation. This was one on Sunday. I can't get over this 3 days later. I'm sorry. The Miami Dolphins cleared Tua Tagovailoa, I guess the medical staff, the NFL medical staff, whoever it was. They cleared him on Saturday to play, but after what they did the last time to him, the Dolphins aren't going to send Tua back out there unless he's wrapped in bubble and has stadium security to go with him. So I get why they didn't play him. But he was cleared. They did have the option to play him. The last time they had the option to play him, the man wasn't right. According to the doctors now, and they fired the doctors they didn't like, right, okay, ready to go. But no. Teddy Bridgewater, who was suffering from, I don't know, a tackle, was also cleared to play. But Mike McDaniel, the Miami Dolphins coach, decided that instead of Tua, who was cleared to play, and Teddy, who was cleared to play, he would go with Skylar Thompson. Now, look, I like Skylar Thompson. Watched him play at Kansas State. Tough kid. Pressed into service last week after the injury to Bridgewater. He was 19 of 33 for 166 yards. No touchdowns and an interception. I mean, for a third-string rookie quarterback, pressed into service, could have been worse. But Skylar Thompson is extremely limited. He was sort of limited as a passing quarterback at Kansas State. So Teddy Bridgewater, after Thompson rips up his hand, goes into the game and throws for 329 yards. He was healthy enough to throw for 329 yards, and they chose to start somebody who is thrown for, quick guys, how many times did Skylar Thompson throw for over 329 yards in a 5-year college career that spanned 45 games and 40 starts, counting the COVID year? How many times?
I would say never.
That's an excellent guess. You want to take a shot at this, Taylor?
Yeah, never.
Oh, never. Okay, Mario, you want to take a shot at this?
I'd say once.
Once.
Yeah.
Give the man a cigar and a blowtorch to light it with. One time in the COVID year, threw for 334 yards against Oklahoma. They decided that 1 out of 40 was better than sending Teddy Bridgewater out there. You know the last time he threw for more than 334 yards? It was the Missouri State Championships in 2016. Fort Osage against Chaminade, the Red Devils. Thompson set a Missouri State record, throwing for 455 yards. The Vikings are better than Chaminade. You tell me Chaminade, I think about the basketball team that beat Ralph Sampson back in 1980 or 81, whatever year it was. No, Mike McDaniel said, we have Tua. We have Teddy. We're going to go with Skylar. Come on, man. All of these guys are trying to be the smartest guy in the room. Hey, I know. We'll punt.
Teddy's got some good stats off the bench this year, too.
I know it's 4th and 25 from our own 6-inch line, but we'll go for it because the analytics say to. Guy hadn't thrown for that many yards since high school. Teddy, you okay? Yeah, I was okay yesterday. Get in there. See what you can do. Dolphins lost. Take a break. Take some of your submissions and your questions in the chat when we come back. Hanny Time, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
This is Hanny Time.
Going to be great weather for LSU and Ole Miss this weekend. If you're going out tailgating and you need some rice is going to be part of your tailgate. So often is. Make it Supreme Rice. And support our Louisiana farmers down in southwest Louisiana since the 1930s. You know, whether it's the brown, the long grain, the medium grain, or the jasmine, Supreme Rice has been delighting their customers for a long time. Easy to pick up. All your AG food stores, all your Costco's, and your Rouse's, including the Rouse's right off campus where we'll be doing pregame show starting at 9:30. So whether it's for your red beans, your stews, your etouffees, or, man, you can pick up a gumbo. I know it's getting to be that time of the year. Make it with Supreme Rice. For more information, great recipes, go to supremerice.com.
Professional golfers John Peterson and JJ Colleen answer all your golf and life questions inside the new Drop Biscuit Studios podcast for the people. Download or subscribe today at dropbiscuit.com.
Bayou Ford has $10,000 off MSRP plus 2.9% for 60 months on new 2022 Ford F-150s. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty and free delivery. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
Service Mastery Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact Service Mastery Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. Service Mastery Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
This is a house call.
This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you were born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money.
Jimmy Ott for the Wednesday evening edition of Game Time, presented by Bet Rivers. We're live at City Slice Pints and Pizza on Chime Street, just outside the north gates of LSU. Getting you ready for Ole Miss and LSU Game Time, presented by Bet Rivers, 6 to 8 p.m. on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Please check out dropbiscuit.com and browse our growing library. While you're there, be sure to subscribe to Pops, Fame, You Talking to Me, For the People, Well Stated, or whatever Southern-flavored audio biscuit you fancy. That's dropbiscuit.com.
This is Hanny Time with Charles Hannegriff on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All right, some submissions here in the chat. A shout out to Laura Rutledge for wearing the tiger mask. She lost a bet too. I didn't see that one. I did see Peter Burns has been running over Chris Doering for about 4 years on the SEC network. They do a dress up contest. Did you see he came as Chuckles the Clown this year? I mean, he's made him dress up like Mr. Potato, not Mr. Potato Head, Mr. Peanut.
Mm-hmm.
He was Mr. Peanut. He was the yodeler one year. I mean, Burns is having a ball with this thing. And Doring can't catch a break. I'd feel sorry for him, except, well, it's Florida, so I'm not going to all that much. Apparently, Laura Rutledge lost a bet to somebody else as well. First class to Bills and Chiefs for making it a great game. It was a great second half. The first half was not the best, but hey, listen, you can't demand high quality football every minute of every game. I know this because I watch on Thursday nights a lot, but on that game at halftime, they turned it on. You saw, two of the 5 best quarterbacks in the world. That was entertaining for sure. William is, I don't know why this came up today, but William is still mad about the Florida hurricane dodge. Should he let it go? Wow. That thing couldn't have been more mishandled. I can't think of a way that could have been more mishandled by both athletic departments, by the league. It led to a whole change in the Constitution for the powers of the commissioner. They screwed that thing up so bad. Nobody liked it. It was bad all the way around, and hopefully nothing like that will ever happen again. She lost a bet to Marcus Spears. Okay, that's good. Those things are fun. And we tend to spotlight them when it goes LSU's way. I do think that Tyrann Mathieu had a bet with Alvin Kamara on the LSU-Tennessee game, and I think there's a picture floating out there somewhere of Mathieu with a Tennessee jersey on. So doesn't always go your way, but every now and then you do get to have a little bit of fun with that. All right, Mario, you ready for Pels tonight, right?
Hell yeah. I'm so
Okay.
excited.
This is it's a unique game, even though it's a season opener. But I mean, I went through the numbers. I mean, all of these guys have been gone for a long time. And if you saw Zion Williamson last week when they said, well, you know, you're not on the injury, I'm playing Wednesday. It's fantastic, okay? You hadn't seen him. Now, the Nets, this is not the Nets that we ever thought we would see. I mean, from Kyrie's non-contract extension to Kevin Durant's trade demand to Ben Simmons's odyssey or journey or whatever you want to call it from Philadelphia. You probably didn't think that you would see didn't think that you would see these three guys, but they'll all three be on the floor first time together, and these Pelicans will be on the floor for the first time together in a game. Williamson has not played a single minute with C.J. McCollum, so it's compelling, okay? I can't tell you that I'm going to watch every minute of every NBA. For me, the NBA, like a lot of people, starts at Christmas, but hey, it's a Wednesday night in October. And it's opening night. Yeah, I'm gonna be pretty interested tonight. So if I can get home, get myself straight. I got NOLA and the Phillies against the Padres this afternoon, and then we got college football and the Pels tonight. And tomorrow, Saints and the Cardinals. Thanks to everybody for participating. For Mario and Taylor, I'm Charles Hanniger saying thank you and good afternoon. Stay tuned for Hunting Hill. Jeremy's going to tell you why the Lakers came up a little bit short last night in the season opener. That's next, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $11,000 off MSRP plus 2